a village boy who came to Lagos at a relatively young age, who had high hopes for himself, haven't been encouraged by his late father that he could take on the world, and who with time looks back and says perhaps he's achieved most of the things he set out to do. I'm driven totally by excellence. I'm driven by professionalism. I have a will to win. I have said it severally, and sometimes people don't understand where I'm coming from. I don't want to be number two, I want to be number one. I'm driven by success. Success that is not necessarily informed by money, all right? But landmarks, very serious achievements that people can see and feel proud of. Landmarks that you can benchmark with the best in the world. Those are the kind of things that drive me. There are those who love me with a passion. There are those who don't. That's to be expected. But by and large, I think the good news is that everybody would attest to the fact that one has done a reasonably good job in one's chosen career. In total, we have about 8 companies within our group. And Troyka employs over 7,000 people at the moment, offering national as well as international services to clients. Everything that we do is driven by service. We offer clients service, whether it's security, whether it's experiential marketing, whether it's advertising. The whole purpose is to offer our clients service. You know, these things are informed by the dynamics of the environment. We just don't go start a company because we want to put a badge, another stripe on our shoulders. No, everything we've done has been informed by a need. Interestingly, most of the additions we've done have been done because we want to serve our existing clients. That's the irony of it. Everything we've done, the clients will always express a need. How we wish that these guys can do whatever, but we're also very visionary. We see what a lot of people don't see. That's been one of our advantages, I think. I believe that by end of this year, we should be closing up with about between 17 and 20 billion naira in turnover. You know, when you do something, you got to look at where you're headed, where you want to head. You got to be able to assess and say to yourself, am I delivering the quality of service that I'm capable of doing? And that's why I left my previous employment. It wasn't because I necessarily wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was because I felt that there was so much more that we could give. I want to be number one. I was working in a company where we were number 3, and the company was very complacent being number 3. I thought maybe I could go out there and with time get to that position. And I suppose time has proven me right. Well, it's very tough. I mean, there could be some element of naivety, especially if you're young. You think that if you start something, it's going to be like a bed of roses. But very quickly, I realized that no. We've embarked on a very long journey that was going to be bumpy and rough and all that. But I stayed focused because I knew that we would succeed in the long run. Because you have to understand the perspective from which I was coming, which is one in which you didn't believe in failure. When you hit all of those bombs, you must have that staying power to continue. You want me to tell you all the kind of bumps we ran into? I mean, I'll give you an example. We went to a bank and said, look, could you grant us a loan? We want to give some of our staff loans to buy cars. And we're looking for something like about 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira loan. The banks wouldn't give us 10,000 naira loan. Yeah, they wouldn't. Because they didn't believe we would be able to repay the loan. If you cannot work for the big clients, you will never be a big company. And forget it when people say to you, I want to remain small. It's not true. There's nobody who starts a business and says, I want to remain small. You know, because with size comes strength. If you're not big, you cannot deliver. You know what I say? It is good to be big. It is better to be good. It is best to be both. So it's a combination of everything. All right, so for me, from day one when we started Insight, I had my eyes on working for some of the biggest clients in this country. The Nigerian breweries of this world, the Nigerian bottling companies of this world, you know, the big banks. You know, just mention that that's the only way to go. It took 19 years of knocking on the doors of Nigerian breweries before they said, okay, finally, come and tell us what you can do for us. And they didn't just call us, they called 6 other companies. And you know what? We came out tops. And for me, that was the crowning glory of my career, to have been able to get that business in the 28th year of knocking, persistent knocking. I mean, I could have gone on retirement from that day. One of the things I learned very early in life as a young man was to understand that leadership plays a major role in followership. I think if you talk to people who have worked with us, because in fact I think the question is more appropriate for them than me. If you ask them why would you stay with Mr. Shobanjo or whatever, they would most likely tell you that it has to do with the leadership that I offer. They know that I'm very consistent. They know that they can trust me. They know that I would mentor them. They know that I'm also very fair-minded. There's no favoritism. Everything is based on meritocracy, identifying those who have the skills and knowledge to deliver particular things, and they're given the opportunity. So those kind of things, when people find that you are fair-minded, I think they would tend to follow. It's a very, very major challenge. I thought I needed to support such initiative and hopefully help in letting a whole lot of young Nigerians and Africans understand that, wait a minute, there's a whole lot that you guys can do for yourselves. You can create a future for yourselves and create a future for a whole lot of other people as well, using myself as an example. And I hope that at the end of the day, a whole lot of Africans and Nigerians, as I said, can begin to have the confidence and see what people like Alan Sugar have been able to do for themselves, see what a man like Donald Trump has been able to do for himself. And as I said, build confidence in our people so that they can go out there and achieve success. For too long, people have tended to believe that, well, if you don't work for government, then there's no hope. And also that if you don't work in oil and gas, banking, and telecom, you've come to the end of the road. That's absolute nonsense, I regret to say. I hope that I can convince a whole lot of people, with the people who are going to participate in the Apprentice, that, hey, wait a minute, the sky is so wide out there and you can do a lot for yourself. What the Apprentice will learn is that I don't benchmark my own things with what people have come to accept as Nigerian standards. In other words, we benchmark whatever we do with world-class standards. So they will have to learn that very quickly. They would have to learn quickly that there would be an admixture of what they would bring to the party, which is you'll bring your intellect, you'll bring your skills, you'll bring your knowledge, but you must be streetwise. They would have to learn that very, very quickly. they would have to learn quickly that they cannot take their eyes off the ball. They need a lot of energy to drive whatever they want to do in achieving the results that we're looking for. They would have to also learn very quickly that bottom line is very important, that business is about profitability. Those who can't achieve those would only hear one thing from me: you're fired. Well, you haven't done what I expected of you, and because you've come back with this kind of results, I regret to say you're fired. You have spent 35 minutes. You're fired.